Yo, it is March 16th, 8:02 a.m. Central Time, 9:02 if you're on the East Coast, and that is 6 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. You know, it's weird having, you just saw my crotch as I fucking run my pants.
I'm on the NBA standard.
Haircut, so I look creepy, guess it.
Nice.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How much younger do I look right now?
Let me go. Probably 4 years younger.
Oh, wow. Good to know. Hopefully Luke joins us shortly. But here we are. It was an interesting night in the NBA. And I want to say the first thing that we can take away from last night is the fact that Joel Embiid is the MVP.
Okay, thank you. There we go. We're back. We're so back. Feels good.
It's impressive what he's doing, and I completely understand the argument for Jokic. I just think at this point, two-way player, like I understand Jokic is arguably, you know, the team's better record, all that stuff, but I think Embiid's team isn't as good as the Nuggets in terms of on paper. Like, I just think Joel more of the MVP this season. What's your reasoning for him to be MVP?
Well, he's the best player. I think he's having a phenomenal year. I think Philly has a good team, but I think without Joel, they wouldn't be nearly as good. And what's crazy is now they have the same record. I think Denver has one less loss than Philly, but they have the same amount of wins. So now, like, they both have 46 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 46 wins. So it just kind of goes to show you, even like Cleveland behind Philly has 44. You know, Denver's got 46. I don't really think Jokic is done. They were on a crazy pace, but that was like months ago. So I'm going Joel, Giannis, Jokic. However, you know, there still is plenty of time left. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Giannis, but you know, you saw it right out of the gate last night. You know, I called Joel dropping 55. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Mobley definitely picked up the slack, but no Jared Allen. It was just an abuse fest. You can't guard him because he can score on you so many different ways. He'll take that three. He can orchestrate. He's a good passer. He's going to find the cutter. He's going to get offensive putbacks when guys like Tyrese Maxey push the pace, and Mobley, he like draws Mobley in for the block. He's so good. This is a different Philly team than years past. I don't know if they're going to win the NBA Finals. You know, last night Cleveland came back. Joel almost fouled out. You're muted.
So Joel Embiid, yeah, it was the 4-minute marker, 4:15. They said that he had fouled out, and then, you know, it got reviewed and he wasn't. But yeah, I think this is a phenomenal team. I just think James Harden, on paper, the Nuggets are a better team than the Sixers. James Harden's reinvented his game. James Harden isn't this ISO drive guy anymore. He's actually creating for other people. You know, he's finding his spots. I really like what James Harden's doing. But yeah, I think Joel Embiid right here is the MVP. You know, what he's able to do offensively, what he's able to do as a big defensively as well, and just not getting exposed and being able to have an impact for this team, I just think is something that's underrated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Giannis is in the race. I think Giannis might win Defensive Player of the Year. If it no, it's Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah, I think it's either Jokic or Embiid. I just don't see Giannis in it.
I don't know how you. I bet you that odds makers have Giannis as MVP right now.
You want to look? Let's look.
Yeah, let's look.
MVP.
What do you think's for?
I like Tatum.
Yeah.
He was the guy for most of the season, but he fell off. And then I would say 5 is Doncic. Right? But okay, Vegas.
I don't think so. They're like below 500 now.
We do Vegas Insider usually, right?
Yeah.
That's what we typically do for our. I just try to use the same sites for everything. So like we usually get okay. So you're right, Joel. Then it's Jokic, then it's Tatum, then it's Antetokounmpo, then Tatum, then Doncic. So yeah.
Wow. And Shay's in 6. Wow.
Well, 6 is tied. Oh wait, 5.
Oh, it's all those players.
Yeah. I guess 6 is tied because as soon as you get to Doncic is plus 1,500 or 15,000. Tatum plus 6,000, Giannis plus 300, Jokic plus 160, Embiid 175. So right now, Embiid is the MVP. So that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it is. Good for him.
These averages are absurd. And the thing is if he plays every game for the rest of the season, he'll match a career high, which he set last year of 68 games played. Because he's right now at 55, and I think it's 69. There's either 13 or 14 games left in the season for them. He either gets to 68 or 69 games if he plays every game of the season. And he's averaging a career high in minutes.
Very cool. Yeah, 54 from the field. This is the best player on one of the best teams. They are in the East. They're just 4 games out of Milwaukee. Milwaukee's already at 50 wins. It's crazy. Milwaukee, I remember tweeting that. I'll have to find out. I might have deleted it. I remember tweeting the Milwaukee Bucks will win 60 games. Saved this tweet like months ago, and they're going to win 60 games.
I don't understand. What I know. No, I agree. I completely agree. I just got thrown off by March Madness because it starts at 11 today.
Yeah.
And I thought March Madness started at night on Thursday and Friday. They were night days, and then the old day games started on Saturday.
What the hell?
I don't know why.
Today and tomorrow are really. This weekend is really the only time I like watching. That I get excited for March Madness because there's just always a game on from for me it's noon. So from noon to probably 2 a.m. there will be basketball on, college basketball on.
Yeah, from 11 to
for the next 2 days.
For 11 there'll be basketball on for me. That just means when I get home, I'm just gonna have to hop on the computer because I make NBA draft prospect videos during March Madness because a bunch of players start like Cameron Kurtwig is like one of my most popular videos of all time. And I made that video after he balled out in the first game. So there's like certain players, if you follow, you can make a video and get like 5,000 views within an hour.
Cameron Kurtwig, dude. Oh, man. Do you remember Clayton? Do you make one on Clayton Custer any chance?
No. Another example, Peter Kiss last year.
On who?
Peter Kiss.
On Loyola?
No, he was on Bryant last year. He was 26 years old, and he led the nation in scoring.
Thomas Bryant?
Peter Kiss for Bryant.
Kobe Bryant?
You're the worst.
What's he up to these days?
I think Peter Kiss is playing in Europe. Let me see. Peter Kiss. Wiki.
He's taking the Pat Bev route.
He's playing in Mexico.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, he plays.
You don't hear that much.
Yeah, he went to Quinnipiac, then Rutgers, then Bryant. 25.
Let's take guesses on where Quinnipiac is as a state. And if you know where it is, don't answer. Do you know where it is?
Yeah, I do know where it is. I learned about it yesterday. Or like
Virginia.
No, it's a lot more north.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Michigan.
2 west.
Or where is it?
Connecticut.
Wow, are you serious?
Yep. I was shocked too. Yeah, that's what I thought it was like a Tennessee. I thought it was like Tennessee. I thought Quinnipiac was like next to Chattanooga. I thought it was like here's Chattanooga, and then Quinnipiac was like around the corner from Chattanooga. Doesn't that sound like they should be neighbors? Quinnipiac and Chattanooga.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah, Quinnipiac's in like Connecticut.
North of the Mason-Dixon. Wow.
Huh?
Yeah. It's north of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah, I live 10 minutes away from the Mason-Dixon.
Did you really?
Yeah, Maryland.
You Union fuck.
Well, technically, I was a neutral state. Maryland's neutral. We created the Mason-Dixon line because our governor was a Southern sympathizer, but the people were more Northerners.
You
So
Swiss pussies.
basically, no. But I just think the Mason-Dixon line is pretty cool. There's a
Yeah.
lot of cool. So I would never do reenactments. Would you do
I
reenactments?
would totally do reenactments. That
You would.
sounds so much fun.
I would do one reenactment, but I would never do multiple reenactments. And
All
if
right,
I
yeah.
And if I did reenactments, I would be the villain, and I would be like, ironically, I would be the Nazis if we did like World War II,
That does sound fun.
and I would hold out. They'd be like, "We shot you." I'd be like, "Nah, I didn't feel anything," and then I'd like
maybe
change
like
history.
a 2 day World War II reenactment where you can invade like France and stuff, and then the day ends, and then like Pearl Harbor gets hit. That sounds like really shitty to say, but like
It does
you know
sound
what I'm
shit.
saying? You're Hitler and you invade France, and then like you go home for the day, and then like but you only did that one day, so you don't have to see like.
Have you
Germany.
played the game Hearts of Iron?
No.
It's a game where you start in the year 1939 and you can be any country in the world, and you can like set up like different sorts of like policies and create treaties, and like you can either be fascist or you can be a democracy, and you can like basically I could invade Brazil and have relations with like Paraguay and Mexico, and I can ask Mexico and Paraguay for helps with troops, and they'll send troops to help me invade Brazil. And then we'll
still a game?
Yeah, it's called Hearts of Iron.
What's it on?
It's on Steam.
Who the fuck? No person ever in the history of the world has ever had Steam or understood what Steam is.
All right, here it is. Ready? It's a computer game. It's like it's just a computer game. You just
so can I play it on my MacBook?
Yeah. Like this. Look at this. This is it. This is what it looks like. So like your country. So like say like this is the British Raj, and you can just invade Afghanistan, and like these are all militaries.
Oh,
and, like,
dude.
And like this is how you like set up how you want your military attack, and like where you want your battle lines are. Yeah, and then like you can invade into Africa. Into like you can cross oceans and shit.
Well, let me look this up for later.
Hearts of Iron 4.
Sorry, March Madness. I got plans, but
great game to play while you're watching March Madness.
Cool.
Because it you know what I mean? It's not churn based, but it's one of those games where there's like an internal clock, and like as time you can speed up the time. You know what I mean?
You ever play World Conquer on the phone?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but way better, like way more in depth.
Yeah, it sounds way more in depth.
I
love the World Conquer.
And like you build up your armies, and you can build up your economy. Like you could not even be like you like can like say fuck being a military. You could like just focus on having the best economy and building up a military and be like having great international relationship.
What?
Yeah,
this is nuts.
Also, when a war ends, you don't even have to be involved in a war. You could just send a couple troops and help a country out in a war. And when the war ends, they have to give you some reparations. So you could be part of a war, and like they'll have to give you some land and money.
Oh man, that's cool.
Is that cool? You're about to have fun, aren't you?
So how come you don't play this anymore?
Me? Well, I my roommates had it, and I didn't want to pay for like the game and the DLC and stuff, and like I haven't had time, you know what I mean? But my friend bought a Steam Deck, and I've been playing his Steam Deck, and I'm thinking about getting myself a Steam Deck.
I don't know what that is.
Imagine, a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But for Steam. Look at this shit. Oh my god. It's basically a handheld Steam gamer console. But you can illegally download like emulators. You can play anything. This is it. My friend bought it, and it's basically a computer, a handheld computer, and you can connect it to your TV. And it's a little thing like this. Like you connect it to your TV. It has like it kind of looks like a Nintendo Switch mixed with like a PSP. And you can download like emulators. So like you could play like Nintendo games. You can go play PS5, Xbox games on here. You can download any game on Steam. You can connect it to your TV. You can even connect a Xbox controller to it.
$518. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you'll know it, and it's with a Nvidia, like Nvidia or whatever it's called, graphics card, and you basically would never need to buy another console again. Right here, like if you got this, like it's super.
It's so small.
It's actually a lot bigger than you think. It's probably
I'm sure. Yeah, it's like a phone. It looks like a phone.
It's probably like this big, like that big.
Yeah.
Like you hold it this big. It's like probably almost 2 feet long. I'd say it's at least a foot.
Oh,
it's like probably like 15 inches long. Like the screen is probably like 10 inches. This screen right here is like 10 inches. And you can play any game you want. This is basically like a super gaming computer in a handheld device.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So like, you know, like how some people are really into like computer gaming because like they say computer gaming has better graphics and shit like that. Yeah. And they have that basically is there. My friend's like downloaded emulators, so he was like playing Pokemon games on there because he downloaded.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. Okay.
Because you can connect it to your computer and illegally download shit because it's basically a computer. So you can download like Nintendo Switch emulators, you know, like and other shit. So kind of cool, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
So let's talk about a team right here, Sacramento. I said this, like I think Sacramento is a team that definitely could. I don't. I'm not going to call them contenders because we'd be lying if we said they were contenders. But I think this is a team that could definitely make the Western Conference Finals or just upset a couple teams in the playoffs. I think the same thing with the Heat. I think the Kings and the Heat are teams that I don't think that they're necessarily contenders, but they can make a run in the playoffs and send a couple teams home that aren't expecting to go home as early.
Yeah. I love the Kings. I'm just kidding because of sorry, Kenny, if you're still watching. We all knew De'Aaron Fox's ball was going in when he took that shot. Like we just freaking
he's winning fourth quarter player of the year this year.
He's like honestly kind of becoming or it's not even becoming. It's like he's kind of been a most improved player in the league. It's nuts. The Kings in general in the fourth quarter, like even when they're struggling, they just hold themselves in these games. They keep themselves in these games, and then they make big time shots. Like whether it's Fox, Sabonis, whoever's out there. You know, we've seen Harrison Barnes pick it up. It doesn't matter. It sucks though because I'm trying to catch you. I'm trying to catch Washington. I don't know if you saw it. DeMar had he had an and 1-3 when we were down 4 with like 30 seconds left, or might have even been less than 30 seconds left. Might have been like 15 seconds left. DeMar DeRozan hits an and 1-3, and we're down 4, and it was nuts. It didn't really look like a foul, so the Kings kind of got screwed there, but DeMar makes his free throw, which he missed a clutch free throw like about 30 seconds before that, which really sucks. Then Mr. De'Aaron Fox comes on up, walks up. They burn the rest of the clock, and he just takes a 3. And every single person I knew, like all my Bulls fans, were like, he just knew that was going in. Like it was just
0.7 seconds left.
Yeah, and exactly. He gave us no time to do anything else. It's like it sucked, man. But the Kings are good. I agree with you. I don't think, even though I bet on them to go to the finals, I don't think they're a finals team. But, you never know what could happen. I just think they lack that rim protection, that so important rim protection.
Well, I meant the sense that, I mean, that's a good point. I didn't even think about the rim protection. I just felt like they're missing that one guy. Like De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, awesome. But I think they're missing that. I'm not saying that they need a Chris Middleton. I just think they need a two-way guy in the middle right there.
Harrison Barnes.
I love Harrison Barnes, but someone who's more of a shot creator than Harrison Barnes, if that makes sense. Like a guy that, let's say you take Sabonis out the game, you take Fox out the game. Like obviously they're still on the floor, but like defensively a team, tells the Kings in the playoffs, beat us without Sabonis and Fox? Is there a third guy right there that, could take over? And I feel like that's what they're, Kenny just said it, a Mikal Bridges-esque player. I agree with that. They're missing their Mikal.
I agree with you guys. I just, Herter and Monk, I'm not saying it's enough, but I'm just saying you never know.
Oh, you never know. That's what I'm saying. This is a team that in the playoffs, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Herter, Malik Monk could all, go off one and be, Kevin Herter could be averaging 18. Harrison Barnes could be averaging 18. Malik Monk could be averaging 17 off the bench, 19, whatever. And you still have Fox and Sabonis putting up their stats, and you have Trey Lyles as well. And you have the pieces there. I'm just saying, for me to say, like, right now, for them to be contenders, or for them next season to be contenders, they would have to go out this offseason and get themselves a third cat that I would be like, that they have three guys to. That's my big thing. Like, when I look at a team like the 76ers, you got Tyrese, James Harden, Joel. All right. Maybe even a little bit of Tobias Harris on a good night. The Suns, you got Booker, Durant, Paul, and Aiden on a good night. Same thing goes. You could even argue about another contending team, the Bucks, Giannis, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez on a good night. Like, you kind of, does that make sense?
Bucks have the blueprint. Yeah. Right now, Sacramento's slated, Minnesota or Dallas. Obviously, all this stuff's contingent on changing. I still believe, like, obviously, I just actually saw that the Kings offered Boogie a contract. I don't think that was real, though. I don't think that was real. Boogie would be fine. I don't really know what Boogie does for Sacramento outside of scores, because once you get into the playoffs, they'll play him 10 minutes. So
he can do what Sabonis does. He was like last year he did it for Jokic, where he comes in for 10 minutes. He's a guy who can play make. Like, Boogie can pass. He can imitate what Sabonis does.
Crazy comparison.
What do you mean? Like, last year he did it for the Nuggets. Is that you got a guy who people forget. So, like, Boogie was one of the first bigs in modern era to do the passing, where being this two-way guy who also was shooting threes and passing. Like,
but he's not DeMarcus Sabonis.
I know, and nor is he Jokic. But last year, DeMarcus Cousins,
he averaged 1 assist.
You're an asshole. 1.7 assists. Okay, in 13 minutes. In 14 minutes, he was averaging 9 points. All right.
That's what he offers me.
Well, right here, per 100 possessions. All right. Last year, he was a defensive rating of 106. All right. He was giving you 1.5 blocks, 2.2 steals, 6 assists, 19.6 rebounds, and 31.4 points on 45% from the field and 32% from three per 100 possessions. He was actually putting up, in those 13 minutes he was playing, he was coming out and doing, like, a good job of mimicking Jokic. And Jokic and Sabonis are the two bigs that are, and then Shagun's like another guy that can kind of hopefully be able to evolve into those guys. But being, these offensive facilitators and rebounders and just offensive, juggernauts that are a nucleus to a team's offense.
So go get Boogie, bring him back. It would be cool for the culture. He's not going to be able to play more than 10 minutes in the playoffs because teams will go right at him, which is fine because, like, we're talking about.
That's 10 minutes. So you only need 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes could disrupt the flow of the game. You never know. Denver's a hard comparison because there was no shot in hell that they were winning that series last year. So it's kind of a hard comparison. So, yeah, but, Monk, like we're saying, Monk could be cold one night. They could just be cold from the bench one night, and having a guy like Boogie come in would be nice. And I think just as far as culture goes, that's a big move. I am skeptical. I don't think it happens. I will just say that. I don't think this move happens. I also think
Nor do I.
Bob Myers comment on why he's not in the league. Like, that's just what I think of.
Wait, what'd he say? What'd he say? Because last year I was wondering why the Nuggets didn't bring him back, because in the past 3 years he was the only center who had positive minutes with Jokic off the floor. So supposedly I heard he was a detriment in the Nuggets locker room.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
what did Bob Myers?
What's up, Justin? But yeah, that's exactly what saying is. He was detriment in Nuggets locker room supposedly, and then you have Bob Myers, boogie ass Bob Myers, and I think it was like a couple of weeks into the season. He wanted to go to Golden State or whatever it was. Bob sat him down and said, like, you're not on a team because of your personality. And that's probably a tough pill to swallow. And he's always been so good. I don't know why. Boogie always had that edge. He always had that, like, just kind of charisma to himself where he's like, he knows he's the guy. Like, he knows he's a freaking beast. But this isn't that Boogie anymore. And, he's also probably 32 now. So stuff changes. But I don't know. That could be a reason why Sacramento doesn't want to bring it back. I don't think Sacramento brings it back, basically. Justin the man, I like the Kings, but Sabonis is a defensive liability. It's pretty much exactly what I'm saying. I mean, they cover it up with getting enough stops when need be. I like seeing Trey Lyles in the closing lineups to try and ease that burden. That's what they'll focus on in the offseason, is they'll bring in a rim protector. It's Sacramento and Denver have the same issues. Like, literally the same issues as far as I'm concerned, where it's just the lack of big man. So I don't actually – I know people won't like this, Cyro won't like this, but I think Sacramento and Denver have the same ceiling this year. I think neither team will win the NBA Finals.
I think the Nuggets are deeper, especially defensively. I think the Nuggets have the edge, but – this season, I have questioned Michael Malone's coaching for the Nuggets, and I don't know if Michael Malone's, because he's actually, if they disappoint in the playoffs, Michael Malone might be, and maybe this is a good time to pivot over to the Nuggets real quickly and talk about this Michael Malone news. But Michael Malone, if they disappoint in the playoffs, basically conference finals at least, he's going to be fired. And I had a bunch of people comment, like Nuggets fans, basically saying that they want him fired because they're sick and tired of seeing Michael Malone supposedly has favoritism. And, a lot of their favorite players over the years have been traded because they were in Mike Malone's doghouse. Yeah. And basically they were saying that, they think the problem might be Michael Malone at this point. And maybe it is, because the last couple of days, I mean, he's been chirping about it, that they haven't played defense during that losing streak. But, they haven't fixed their defense. They're not responding to the fact that he's getting pissed, and they're saying you're not playing good defense.
Yeah, well, he's right. He's 100% right. They're coasting, and this is just what happens, man. Like, they've lost 4 straight. I get it. Some of them have been really bad. The Bulls, we obliterated them. It's tough because you are 46-23 at the time. You're 46-19, and you're ready to get into the playoffs. Like, it's just, even if Sacramento wins out here, that these aren't things that are going to happen, but like, no team all year for the longest of times has been to Denver, like, we're going to test you for that 1 seed. So if you're these players, you're like, why on earth would I give it, why would I push these limitations? I don't want to get injured, I want to keep riding this, but then it just creates bad habits. Basically, Denver is in a spot right now where they can create bad habits, and it's hard to look at it and fix it. Just like what Boston kind of went through a couple of weeks ago, where it's just, maybe you have guys circling in and out of the lineups from injuries or rest or what have you. Like, bad habits come up, and as a coach, Michael Malone is not going to like that. I think they need to get to the Western Conference Finals. They've been there before. This team for the last 5 or 6 years has been elite of elite as far as regular season. This year they're first. Last year they were sixth but injured. The year before that, third in the West, second in the West. That
Mhm.
is 4 out of the last 5 years that they are a top 3 team in the Western Conference. So I agree with their fans. I don't think Michael Malone is a bad coach, but
It's not working.
it's
If they
not working.
disappoint this year, Michael Malone might be their Mark Jackson, and they might need to find their Steve Kerr. I hate that we use that I use that comparison, but it's a good comparison to show that some coaches get you there, and other coaches take you over the edge. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like one coach is gonna there's developing coaches and coaches who get your squad to the playoffs, and then there's championship winning coaches. Dwayne Casey to Nick Nurse. Yeah. And
Ime Udoka on this coaching
yeah.
staff.
Yeah, Brad. I mean, even just Ime Udoka coaching this team.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Or like Brad Stevens to Ime Udoka. Brad Stevens got that team.
Oh, okay.
And then Ime Udoka took that team to the finals. So I think that's something that people try to discredit. And Kenny, I would love for De'Aaron Fox to be first team All NBA. I do see him being All NBA. Same thing with Domantas Sabonis. Point guards. De'Aaron Fox. I'm trying to think of Shea,
Dame,
Stats. Those are all guys he's gonna have to compete with. Tyrese, well, he's missed too many games.
It's not gonna happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, if he had done that the whole season and didn't get hurt, but
he's having a phenomenal year, even if he's playing better. I don't think the voters would do that.
Jalen Brunson.
Different same conference. It's one big conference, even harder. Who's on the West that's having a great year at point guard? It's hard to be listed as point guard, and Fox having a better year.
He's a guard, but yeah.
So yeah, you're right. Fox would be the best point guard in the West or
West
this year.
I mean,
no, Fox was in the East, yeah. So
now
Luka there too.
Clippers got a big win last night. You watch that game at all?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw most of it. And I was actually sitting down. I was actually amazed that the Warriors tried to get back in the game. I will say that. They tried their best.
Tough pick at Tyler there. Well, they were resurgent because their plane almost went down. These guys almost died.
Yeah, what was it about? I heard a brief mention of that. What happened?
Their plane got struck by lightning in the air, and I don't know the exact.
Did they make an emergency landing?
They might have, because there was like something wrong. After when they landed, there was visible damage to the plane. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Bones Highland joked on Twitter saying they thought it was the end.
Yeah, it dropped altitude several times.
So
that's
they
crazy.
Got a resurgence.
Los Angeles Clippers faced a scary situation off the court last month. Well, this was on February 25th. And
yeah, that's a different one. Right?
No,
yeah.
No, this is the same thing.
What? No. Really? No. If that is true, that is horrible journalism by everybody.
The news must have just
during February trip to Denver, you're right. What the hell is this?
It's probably because the information just got out.
It is unbelievable. Failed. You're right, dude. That's in what is that? Mid-February or late February? I don't think people know that. Yeah.
So listen to this. The Clippers' plane began to shake and rattle before a loud bang could be heard. Some staffers saw a flash on the right side of the aircraft as the engine went eerily silent for a moment before roaring back to life and filling the cabinet with thunderous revving. The plane dropped in altitude several times and shrieks could be heard from passengers in what some staffers called one of the worst moments they've experienced on a flight. Bones
It's
Highland,
so crazy.
not going to lie, we thought it was over with.
Yeah.
I do like sometimes I do have like low key anxiety when it comes to flying. Like I've never had anxiety flying, but like, bro, okay. Either way,
You see how many close calls there have been recently?
oh my
It's gonna
god,
happen
yeah.
soon.
Don't say that.
It's gonna happen soon. But you're right. It sucks.
Clippers though,
Clippers are figuring it out. They figured it out.
are they a
They're close.
championship team?
I think a healthy Clipper should always be in consideration because I view this Western Conference as completely wide open. Though the Western Conference is begging for someone to come in and be like, "You're not getting past us," and it's going to come down to at the end of the regular season who's looking healthy, who's streaking. And right now, 4 straight wins. I believe that's the largest. That's the largest in the West. Right now, it's Philly and Denver, or sorry, Philly and LA Clippers. They're now the 5th seed, and I would say if they're easily going to get to 4 if they keep playing like this without KD. So the Clippers are almost back to where they were before they got Russell Westbrook. Or the trade deadline even.
I just think I just want them to figure it out and them go into the playoffs looking like the team that we know that they can be. All right. And that's a title contenders. I mean, Kawhi's looking like the freaking man. All right. As long as Kawhi's healthy, I buy stock in this team. I just have my doubts because you know what's the biggest weakness with the Los Angeles Clippers? Themselves. That's what's stopping them from winning. Themselves.
Yeah. It's always somebody always gets hurt in the playoffs, or there's always a
Dysfunction.
why. There's always something just always happens. Whether it's Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, there's just always been something that happens in recent years. So you hope it's not again, because if it is, goodbye team. This team won't look the same next year, as it shouldn't, because that's ridiculous. It's been too long. So it's like a fingers crossed. I think every NBA fan that like doesn't hate the Lakers, every non-Laker fan right now is thinking, fingers crossed. I don't even really want to address it because like I don't even want to entertain the notion that they get injured and all that type of stuff. But Russell Westbrook did a great job last night. He definitely played winning basketball. He made some threes, which you always love to see. And yeah, Kawhi's on a mission. I know Paul George in the late part of that game was freaking huge.
Paul George has been reborn defensively this season. Like, I'm not saying that, like, there's been moments where he's been bad defensively, but I think ever since he realized he's not a number 1 option anymore, when he said that comment, he's been trying way more on defense, especially with Kawhi playing well.
Yeah, I view his impact like offensively. It was last night. It was offense in the final quarter of the game was when I think he's been able to be a little bit more of a balanced player, kind of going hand in hand with what you're saying, and like on offense, pick his moments. Like if he's
that was great. He picks his spots.
That's no forcing. If he's
I was about to say that. Ever since Kawhi's taken over, he's taken it back and he just picks his spots. He finds, and I really like it. And obviously, Paul George isn't the defensive player of the year candidate that he used to be, but I think he's playing some of the better defense he has in recent memory.
This is why you want superstars on your team or just stars in general, because if you have a bad first half, it's not the end of the world
because they can turn it on.
Let Kawhi do his thing, and then if I start getting in my groove late in the game, fourth quarter, so.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's definitely fun to watch, and I think with more and more time, this is going to be definitely something to keep an eye out for with the Clippers as a team that can make a run. They have the star power. It's all about can they stop themselves from shooting themselves in the foot or, facing an injury. So I think that's where we're at currently, and hopefully we can see them, pull through. Jabari Smith and the Houston Rockets. Dude, the Lakers should have fucking won this game, but Jabari Smith said, I'm going to make it. We don't even need to win this game, but we're just going to win this game because we can.
Yeah, shout out to the San Antonio Spurs for also winning basketball games. I'm still very worried about Detroit. I don't think Houston will be the worst team in the league. KPJ, since he's gotten back from injury, has done a phenomenal job. KPJ, Penguin, Green, KJ, Jabari, they're all doing a great job. Josh Christopher needs playing time. Silas, if you watch this, he needs more playing time. 12 points, 13 minutes last night. But I can't, like, I don't know. We beat the Celtics and we beat the Lakers. Like, it's great to see. I hope it doesn't come back to bite us. And at the end of the day, I don't desperately need Vic. I'm perfectly fine with Scoot. I'm perfectly fine with Brandon Miller. Like, as long as we're top 3 again, I'm perfectly fine with it. I get it. You want the 1 seed, but I don't want to go into next year with, like, what do we have? 14 wins. I don't want to go into next year with 14 wins. Like, I want free agents to want to view this team as like, oh yeah, they're fun, they're young, they're running and gunning, and this is a team. If I'm like a Mikal Bridges type of player, like, Houston sounds like a pretty fun destination. They got a better future than Brooklyn to me.
Wow, you should be talking about James Harden. James Harden wants to come back.
Exactly, James Harden. Yeah, why not? I mean, really, why not?
I just think Jabari Smith's been on a tear. He's been playing some of the best basketball of his career so far. And
yeah, he struggled to start, and he really came alive at the end. You know what I really like to see is exactly what he did at Auburn, where he'll grab that defensive board, especially if he's coming off a 3, pull up, spot up 3 in transition. I love it. He's got to get – once that ball handling, when he adds ball handling to his mix, to his bag of tricks, helps separation, helps you drive.
Well,
But
I
he's a
think
shooter, so shoot.
I think the first half of the season they were really trying to use him as a wing player on defense, but I think they've fully committed to him being he's a big. Jabari Smith is a modern day big who are like a 4, can play some 5. On defense, they use him as a 5, as a rim protector, and then on offense, they have him on the perimeter. And I just think it was a matter of just getting him to his spots, and I think he's now just figured out how to get his shot off, where his spots are, and he's just getting to his favorite, locations on the court, and the shots are falling, and it's not like a few threes. Now this guy's like taking like 6 to 8 threes a night.
Yeah,
it's
he should.
Yeah, like as he should. And Şengün's been out, right, with injury lately.
No, Şengün's back. Usually, what happens is they bench Şengün in the last like quarter and a half. We didn't see that last night, thankfully, but AD was out, so
they could keep him out there. Okay, but Şengün was hurt past few games though, right?
I don't think Şengün's missed any games.
The other day, Şengün missed the game. Yeah, Şengün did play against the Celtics.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because that was when we talked about Jabari being their 5.
Yeah, because they had Tari Eason at the 4 that night. So
I know. Oh, wait.
Tari Eason played the 4 and Jabari played the 5 that night.
Tari Eason, that was a really big deal in Rocket fandom, was that Tari Eason actually got a start.
Yeah, no, that was kudos to him. He deserved it. But
he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely
SEC bleeds winners every sport.
I mean,
it's
the
best
SEC
conference in every sport.
No,
it's not even close.
Hands down, everyone will agree with me in this statement. The best basketball conference is the Big 12. Like, no one will argue that. The best basketball conference in college basketball is the Big 12. I make videos and I tweet about it. And, like, whenever someone talks about it, I'll be like, oh, I wish you guys to the Big 12. And everyone agrees. They're like, Big 12 is the best basketball conference. That's just because it has the most basketball schools. And it has, like, the most national champions.
I'm SEC, Not that I'm a Florida resident. I'm SEC all day, every day. Saturdays in the South, nothing like it.
Also, Florida's not the South. Florida's Florida.
No, Texas is Texas. Florida's
no. Florida is Florida. Florida's its own thing. Everyone knows that. Florida's not the South. Florida's
No, because
Florida.
when you get up north to like Jacksonville and Gainesville, it's the South.
But that's more like north. That's like kind of like Georgia almost. But like that, you don't count that. Like if you live in from Central Florida and below, that's just Florida. That's not the South. That's Florida. You live in Florida.
They just birth athletes. How's that? They birth athletes.
Yeah, there you go. Jaden Hardy's been averaging like 16 a night as a starter. Josh Green had a great game last night. Two-way guys helped the Mavs get a win over the Spurs. What did you think about that?
I love Josh Green and Jalen Hardy getting these runs. They've done a great job. 3 straight nights, both of them.
Yeah, no, Jaden Hardy for like the 3 or 4 straight nights, he's been freaking fantastic. Josh Green has been solid, but this game he really broke out. But Jaden Hardy's been getting the starts with the injuries to Kyrie and Luka Doncic. But how bad are the injuries to Kyrie and Luka?
I don't know, but Josh Green's also breaking out.
Also, just Josh Green's 3rd year in the league.
Yes, times now.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think about. He's been in the league this long, and also Josh Green. I think wasn't he like the consensus #1 player out of high school?
Oh wow.
Yeah, people forgot about that.
They're keeping them in it. They're keeping them alive. Doesn't have to be pretty. A Spurs team without Sohan. They got the job done though. Good for them.
I agree, and they did a great job winning this game. And
GM.
I just saw the Timberwolves, an article came out that they've reached the boiling point with officiating. Good morning, Rocket News. How you doing today?
I hit a freaking wall. I don't know why.
You did?
I'm a little hungry. I think I'm gonna start eating breakfast again.
I don't really eat breakfast. Well, let's switch over to Pirtle because I'll go on my phone for the last 10 minutes of the show.
Just end it.
At 50?
Yeah.
You fine with that? I didn't know if you wanted, because I could have just hopped on and just done the last 10 minutes. But you really did hit a wall.
I hit a wall.
You hit a wall.
I went and got coffee. I actually put some sugar in it. It was really freaking good.
I got last night, like at 4 in the afternoon, I never drink coffee with cream or sugar in it. I stopped at McDonald's for $2. I got myself a large vanilla iced coffee. Oh my God, dude. I'm not into like creamer iced coffee. Yeah. I just like a black, good old cup of hot Joe. But I went and got my hair cut and I was kind of tired. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop by McDonald's, get myself a tall iced coffee. And I was originally just going to get a black one, but then I saw it was the same price for a vanilla iced coffee. And I was like, oh, that sounds good.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, dude,
I go to McDonald's and not get a shit ton of food though.
I had eaten lunch already, so and I was like still kind of stuffed, but I wanted something to sip on and I didn't want a soda, so I went out and got myself a nice coffee. It was the move. It was the move. I'll tell you that. Yesterday, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm not into creamers or like those liquid sugars or anything like that. Yeah. But like that, it hit the spot. This looks like Tyrese Maxey to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tyrese, Ty,
or Davion Mitchell. Oh, whoa. So he's basically
Brunson. Oh, he's not 22. Never mind.
He's Tyrese Maxey, but not on the Sixers. Who's in the Atlantic?
Knicks, Celtics, Brooklyn. Man, who am I missing? Is it Toronto? I don't know. 6'2", 22 years old.
Nets, Sixers, Knicks, Celtics.
It's not quickly, is it? I don't think his hair looks like that, but
he's on the Knicks.
I thought he was Brunson because of his height.
That's what I thought.
He's not 22 years old.
Oh, Trevor Keels. Wait, they just Who's their guards? They
Oh
got
man, where's Slag at?
Deuce McBride.
No, he's got short hair.
That's what I thought. Derrick Rose is too old.
I don't think Grimes' hair is that long.
And Grimes is 6'5". That's what I was thinking. And Derrick Rose is 34.
Yeah.
Right? I'm so confused right now. Moses Brown, I think they waived him, and he's 7 foot.
62.
Didn't they sign? There's Daquan Jeffries on a 2-way, right? And is it Trevor Keels or is it Dwayne Washington?
Oh, it could be Dwayne Washington. I don't think his hair's that long either. Wow, it is. There we go.
I knew they had just signed somebody. You know, I'm pretty sure didn't they sign Trevor Keels? I want to wait. Let me search this up.
No, I think Trevor Keels is on. What
Yeah,
team
they signed Trevor Keels to a 2-way.
Okay.
They lied to us.
That looks like Trevor Keels.
Then that picture did look like Trevor Keels, didn't it? So I wasn't stupid for guessing that. When I saw that, I was like, oh, Trevor Keels.
Free agent.
Free agent. That's a lie. 2-way. You remember when I guessed Ousmane Dieng right after he got drafted and they would just put up like Nah stats?
Nah, you're good with that.
He said Jalen Brunson or Josh Christopher. Those are good guesses. Rocket News. All right. That's it. I thought Luke was going to hop on. That kid sucks at joining.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to wake up at 8 a.m. on spring break. I can't lie, dude.
Well, thank you. I wake up at 8 a.m. on spring break. So that's going to be it from us today. I hope you guys did enjoy. We'll be back tomorrow. And I guess we'll do a review of March Madness with some NBA players that we saw in March.
Yeah, we'll see. I probably won't watch too much. I don't think there's much hoops on tonight, which is good.
NBA?
Yeah. There's only 6 games max, I think.
6 games.
Yeah. Just too many, actually.
5 games, actually.
Okay. I'll live with it.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, guys. Cheers. We'll see you tomorrow.